Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're gonna be reacting to
Great albums that were supposed to flop.
Pop music is filled with albums that were written off before they even had a chance, but some projects were able to defy expectations. In this video, we'll look at 8 great albums that were supposed to flop.
his audio. Like it's always very dramatic. The instrumentals he uses.
Yeah, it is. It gives like a.
Yeah, I'm about like, is this supposed to be a stressful experience?
Yeah.
Brat by Charlie XCX. When Charlie XCX announced Brat, many didn't expect it to do much. Despite being the critics' darling, Charlie had never truly cracked the mainstream in a way that reflected her influence. Her previous album Crash was her first real commercial success, debuting on number 7 on the Billboard.
I guess by that logic, you could say that anybody's album, like a first breakthrough album, would be great albums that were supposed to flop. Because, like for example, Sabrina Carpenter, she's been doing this gig for a long time, and only now she popped. So you would say you can say that about Sabrina Carpenter. Like anybody that had like that breakthrough album, you could say that it was expected to flop.
200, selling more than 30,000 copies in the US. So when she pivoted back to a more club-inspired sound with Brat, there were doubts that she could maintain her momentum. But instead, it was clear that it was Charlie back in her element. But commercial success was not guaranteed. Early singles like Von Dutch and Club Classics were hard-hitting, club-ready tracks that felt tailor-made for a niche audience rather than the mainstream. But when the album dropped, songs like 360 and Guess became huge streaming hits. The album's aesthetic, with a neon green branding, became iconic, and the creative marketing strategy made it a commercial success. The album only debuted on number 3 on the Billboard 200, selling 77,000 copies in its first week. But Charlie managed to extend the life of the project with numerous new versions, and Brat ended the year as one of the best-selling albums of 2024. It was also one of the most critically acclaimed albums of the year, resonating way beyond Charlie's core fan base. It defied expectations and became an iconic album, and Charlie is now at the peak of her career.
I wonder if this is like pressure for her next album drop.
Yeah, it's always a pressure when you drop like a successful album. The next album, everybody's expecting something good, so there's a lot of pressure for that.
Because I really thought her chance with that song Fancy would have like helped a lot,
Yeah,
and she would still been in our faces.
Blackout
I remember
by Britney
this.
Spears.
Ooh wee.
In 2007, Britney Spears' career was in turmoil. Her personal life was dominating the tabloids because of her highly publicized breakdowns and erratic behavior that made people believe her career was finished. She even shaved her head and went to rehab a couple times. Her previous album, In the Zone, had been a success, but her 2005 Greatest Hits remix album and the poorly received Chaotic EP did little to maintain her pop dominance. On top of that, she wasn't really promoting Blackout because of her personal struggles, and her infamous 2007 VMAs performance of Gimme More was widely criticized for her looking uninterested. Many assumed that the album would crash and
The performance is looking real rough here.
burn. Instead, Blackout became a groundbreaking moment in pop music. While it did decent
Iconic
initially,
album.
debuting on number 2 on the Billboard 200, selling 124,000 copies in its first week, it became an album that shifted the entire landscape of pop. The album's dark, electro-infused production was ahead of its time. Songs like Piece of Me took direct aim at the media that had been ruining her life, while Break the Ice and Radar showcased a more futuristic sound. Over time, Blackout grew in influence, with many artists calling it a major inspiration. It is now considered one of the best pop albums of that time, and it has now reached legendary status. While Britney herself was in chaos, the album was amazing.
That's
What was
crazy how
supposed
that
to be
works.
Yeah, this has a song. This album had a lot of good songs.
her downfall ended up solidifying her legacy and continued her domination. Emotion by Carly Rae Jepsen. After the worldwide smash success of Call Me Maybe in 2012, Carly Rae Jepsen was written off as a one-hit wonder. Her debut
Wait,
album Kiss was seen as too bubblegum pop to sustain long-term success, and by the time she was ready to release Emotion, the industry seemed to have moved on. Many believe she would
so he's basically saying she has more than.
She has more than one hit. I told you that.
No.
disappear.
The one that's I didn't just come here to dance. That's a banger. That song
After
makes
the
me
lead
dance.
single I Really Love You failed to make a significant impact on the charts, the album was expected to be
I
dead
liked
on
it.
arrival. However, what happened next was unexpected. While Emotion didn't perform spectacularly on the charts, peaking at number 16 on the Billboard 200, it became one of the most beloved pop records of the decade. Rather than chasing trends, Carly crafted an album that leaned heavily into 80s synth pop, drawing influence from acts like Prince and Madonna. The album found an audience, not in the mainstream but in pop music lovers, who appreciated its artistry. Over time, Emotion grew to be a cult classic, while the music
But I guess what is great album is subjective. I guess so. For some people, this might be a great album, but as far as like numbers wise, yeah, I don't think this is like a great album.
Industry may have ignored it at first. Fans kept the album alive, turning it into a defining moment in indie pop. Carly may not have had another Call Me Maybe sized hit, but Emotion proved that she could make a great album that stands the test of time. Plastic Hearts by Miley Cyrus.
I don't know
Miley
this
Cyrus has
one.
always been unpredictable, but by 2020, her career was in a strange place. Following the commercial disappointment of Younger Now in 2017, which abandoned her pop sound for country influences, many people doubted she could reclaim her former chart-topping status. It had been 7 years since her defining bangers era, and she was looking to get her career back on track. The shift towards rock-inspired music on her next album, Plastic Hearts, was seen as a risky move, especially since mainstream pop was going in a different direction at the time. People weren't sure that would work for her. Despite the doubts, Plastic Hearts turned out to be one of Miley's most critically acclaimed albums. Tracks like Midnight Sky and Prisoner featuring Dua Lipa are all-time bops, showing off her
don't know
raspy
this
vocals,
one.
while deep cuts like Angels Like You are some of the most underrated songs.
So some interesting albums he's picking. I guess maybe great in the sense that critically acclaimed then,
Yeah.
because yeah, these are not. I don't know, not one song from this album.
in her
I like
discography.
the visuals in it though. It's very, very, very flashy, very nightlife, very beautiful.
The album debuted on number 2 on the Billboard 200 and performed better than expected, especially considering its limited promotion. However, its real success came in the way it redefined Miley as an artist. After years of genre hopping, Plastic Hearts gave her a musical identity that really suited her until she changed it up again on her next album. Believe by Cher. By the late 90s,
Iconic.
Cher was seen more as a legend from the past than a current hitmaker. She had been in the industry for decades, but she had struggled to make an impact since the 80s. Her previous album, It's a Man's World in 1995, was a critical success, but a commercial disappointment, leading many to believe that her days scoring big hits was over. Then, at 52 years old, Cher released Believe, a dance pop album that seemed risky for someone who had never been a club queen before, and people didn't expect much from the project, assuming it would get lost in the way. The
I think
title
that's her
track,
most
with its now
iconic
iconic auto-tune
I think
effect,
so
became
too.
an
Yeah, I think that song is the song I know the most by her.
unstoppable force. The song topped the charts in over 20 countries, including the US, where it made Cher the oldest female artist to have a number 1 hit on the Billboard Hot 100. The album
That's
itself became a
cool.
multi-platinum success, selling over 10 million copies worldwide. Beyond its commercial impact, it completely reinvented Cher for a new generation, proving that pop music has no age limit. The use of autotune in Believe also changed music forever, paving the way for the vocal processing software to take over the music industry. The rest of the album also held up,
Whoa.
with dance-heavy tracks like Strong Enough and All or Nothing becoming club anthems. The album's influence on electro-pop music was undeniable. Before Believe, Cher was seen as a legacy act. After Believe, she was a legend who had just delivered one of the biggest reinventions in pop history. Confessions on a Dance Floor by Madonna. By the mid-2000s,
Madonna.
Madonna's reign as the queen of pop was facing serious doubts. Her previous
Her look
album,
is so
American Life in
versatile.
2003, had been her most poorly received project to date. Many felt like she had passed her prime, unable to compete with the younger generation
But interestingly, all albums are pop here that he's listing.
of pop stars dominating the charts. When she was gearing up to release a full-fledged dance album, some saw it as career suicide, especially from a then 47-year-old artist. Expectations weren't high for Confessions on a Dance Floor.
She looks
But
phenomenal
then,
here for
the lead single Hung
47.
Up dropped, and everything changed. Sampling ABBA's Gimme Gimme Gimme, the song was an instant smash. The album itself was a mix of disco-infused electropop and felt like a return to the Madonna, who had ruled the clubs in the 80s and 90s. Instead of looking outdated, she set the trend, making disco cool again, years before the genre's revival in the late 2010s. Commercially, Confessions on a Dance Floor was a massive success. It debuted at number 1 in over 40 countries and went on to sell over 10 million copies. The album's impact was long-lasting, influencing the sound of pop music for years to come. What was supposed to be a desperate attempt to stay relevant turned into one of Madonna's most beloved albums. Invasion of
finally
Privacy by
non-pop.
Cardi B.
Over the past several days, 3 females have been found dead.
Looks like someone's going after these girls.
Why do you think this one was supposed to be a flop? I think like, yeah. No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Mhm.
No, say it.
No, go.
I don't know.
Go. I don't know.
Oh, you
Go.
don't know?
Go. I know, but you know.
Oh, I don't.
Go. Please
Before
go.
Invasion-
I don't
Oh
know.
my God. Oh, I thought you were
No.
really about to say something.
No, I don't know.
Okay, so anyways, I was gonna say because she was just on Love and Hip Hop. First freshman. That was her first time on Love and Hip Hop.
Oh, okay.
She's a Love and Hip Hop star. Usually people who go on Love and Hip Hop, their careers are at the tail end. So for her to have
Yeah.
a breakout
Okay.
album, that's crazy.
That makes sense, yeah.
of privacy. Cardi B was widely
Because how I thought, I was like, she was kind of like a nobody. So why anybody
Oh,
expected to?
she was popular on Instagram.
Okay, okay.
seen
was like
as
a social
one-hit
media
wonder.
girl.
Her 2017 breakout single Bodak Yellow was an undeniable smash, but many critics doubted that she could deliver a full-length project with substance, cohesion, and replay value. She was a reality TV star turned rapper, an easy target for skeptics who believed her career would fizzle out as quickly as it started. On top of that, there wasn't really a defined lane for female rap at the time. It was Nicki or nothing else. The odds were stacked against her, but when Invasion of Privacy dropped, it completely silenced the doubters. From the very first track,
And
Get
looking at
Upset,
it now, like looking back, that album is like very well done, even to the
It is.
visuals. This is like a big feat that she accomplished because before there was like no other rapper but Nicki.
Cardi made it clear that she wasn't just here for a quick moment. She was here to dominate. The album blended hard-hitting rap bangers with melodic, crossover-friendly tracks and spawned huge hits like I Like It and Be Careful. It
It's
debuted at
crazy
#1 on
who
the
she
Billboard
had as features too on this album too.
Who was the features?
Bad Bunny, because Bad Bunny was he blew up.
But I don't think he was like that big back then, though.
Mhm.
I mean, they kind of blew up together a little bit. Who else she had?
She had the Migos. She
Yeah, I
had,
remember that.
I think
Okay,
she had
yeah.
maybe J Balvin. Maybe I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I remember the Migos was big.
200, selling
I guess that's how
255,000
she met her
copies in its
husband,
first
huh?
week,
And
which was huge for
I want to say she has a song with SZA. I'm not too sure.
I don't know.
her debut album. The project wasn't just
Or
commercially
Kalani.
successful, it was critically acclaimed too, winning the Best Rap Album at the Grammys and making history as the first solo female rap album to win in that category. It went on to break streaming records, with every song becoming certified platinum or higher, a first in
Really,
RIAA
she had the
history.
perfect time. Like, you know, all the people who are great now, they were like becoming great at the same moment.
Cardi not only proved that she could make a great album, she made a game changer. Its impact has lasted so long that she didn't have to make another album to stay relevant. Purpose by Justin Bieber.
I think she should wait till
By the
10
time-
years.
To drop.
Mhm.
Sure.
At this point, yes.
Purpose rolled around in 2015.
more
Justin's
years?
career was in a downward spiral. After dominating the early 2010s as a teen idol, he hit a rough patch, filled with legal troubles, scandals, and public backlash. His previous album, Journals, was well received by fans, but failed to produce any major hits, making it seem like his mainstream career
don't
was fading.
recognize it.
His public perception was at an all-time low, and people predicted that his next album would flop. Then came Purpose, and everything changed. The album was a complete reinvention, blending electronic dance music influences and R&B to craft a legendary album. The lead single, What Do You Mean, debuted on #1 on the Billboard
I
Hot
remember
100.
this.
Immediately
Okay, listen. So I remember
What
when he
do
was.
you mean?
I remember him promoting this. That he would write, "What do you mean?" Like, stay tuned. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? It's like he was really pushing that song. That was his comeback era.
shifting the narrative. Purpose didn't just exceed expectations, it shattered them. Every single from the album became a massive hit. Sorry became one of the biggest songs of the decade, and Love Yourself ended the year as the top song of 2016 in the US. Even deeper cuts like Company and No Sense showcased his new artistic direction. He had successfully shed his theme pop image and emerged as a pop powerhouse. Purpose wasn't just a commercial success,
Do you
it was a
think he'll drop
redemption
new
arc,
music?
becoming one of the best-selling
All right, now
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Well, we saw him. He was like the people were saying, "Oh, maybe he might not be well," but that was speculation. So I'm not sure.
Oh.
albums of the decade, and restoring Bieber's reputation and helping define the sound of the mid-2010s pop. Which great album
Pretty cool. Guys, of course, let us know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the Discord. And always, share as much kindness as possible.